So Japan, I think, is a nation of great distractors. You know, uh, Japan is a country where 8 million gods resides, according to traditional belief, and so the Japanese are very good at you know really appreciating small things, but that is also the source of many problems. And in this time of coronavirus outbreak, I think many distractors are circulated through the media. For example, the abenomask. The Prime Minister, Mr. Abe, has come up with this idea of distributing 2 masks per household, and you know it's a sensible idea, but at the same time, it is not the solution to this pandemic. And yet, the media, the TV, typically make such a really huge problem out of it. And recently, there has been a report about this company in Fukushima Prefecture, which allegedly was responsible for a part of the distributed abenomask. And there are many conspiracy theories around this company, and which it might be interesting for some people, but it's not the essential problem actually in this situation. And yet, the media are really fond of this kind of small things, and I think that's a huge problem. Uh, this inability to see what is essential and kind of sorting out the small problems from the huge essential problems. This inability to do that is, I think, one of the serious defects of the Japanese media, and perhaps Japanese people in general too. I'm sorry to say. You know, for example, the testing issue. The many arguments for and against the testing for COVID-19. But at the end of the day, you've got to have some degree of testing. Otherwise, you cannot really grasp what is going on in Japan right now. But people are so fond of discussing the details about what is possible and what is not possible, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, in a merry-go-round of current affairs. And, you know, that is entertaining in that sense, but that is also a distractor because, even if you keep discussing all these details about pros and cons of coronavirus testing, if you do not execute a sufficient number of testing, then you don't have the data. That's the essential point. You don't have the data. So you cannot make judgment about important medical procedures which needs urgent attention. So, this latest saga of abenomask, this company in Fukushima Prefecture, is the Japanese media's cup of tea, and but yet it's not essential really. Essential problems, the heaps of essential problems in Japan, and we really need to think about these essential problems and tackle these problems full time, especially the politicians. But it's really sad to say that Japanese media are really good at pursuing all these trivial details, and yet very rarely succeed in tackling the really essential problems. But things can change. The human brain has this great thing called plasticity. So I hope the Japanese media can mend the ways in some way or another in time, because we don't have that much time for this crisis.